And hello. Oh, I stopped glowing. I was going to say something quirky that won't make sense now.
Yeah, what happened? How come you're not glowing anymore?
Because I turned, I guess apparently, like, ooh, if I do like this, I'm not glowy.
It's like,
But
this
this is
my
weird.
like good
But I can't
side.
see you. Ooh, this is good. I don't
You
know.
got something going on with your preference?
I don't know that I have a good side. I think it's the same. I don't know. Maybe it's not.
I don't know what my good side is.
I feel like it's like.
My goodness.
All right, so this is another episode of Spontaneity, where we, you know what, we just do what we want on here now. This is what this is what this is. Sometimes we're like, yeah, you know, we have got today by the horns of today, and some days we're like, I'm not really feeling it. Let's just talk and be silly, and
it's all good.
It is all good.
We always bring it home, you know.
We do. Home
so that's a good point.
What is it Tim says? He said he calls it being an otter.
Yes, or
he
otters.
He actually has, yeah, he said that we're otters, like verbatim.
He called me an otter. He called you an otter too.
I know.
He put himself in there too. He said he was an otter as well.
Yeah, which is interesting since we are all different in some ways, but that part we are the same.
Yeah.
But you know what? And maybe it's just because I am part otter too, but I find that it keeps it more interesting for me if people are not dry. Have you ever went and sat through like a lecture or and it's just like they have no personality. They're only talking the material. And even though you started like, yeah, I'm ready to learn, get educated, I'm here, like ready to go. You find yourself like trailing out, your eyes start switching partway between, and it's because
your eyes start switching.
Yeah, it's because they have no personality. There's no like segue story. There's no like little joke. There's no there's no personality.
None.
So yes, I do have to have people, and sometimes I admit go, we need to get on task. Listen, okay, this is what we're doing today. We're getting on task. And I have had, like Tim say earlier, we're not doing otter today.
Yeah, you just like, not otters today.
Sometimes
I was just like, I wasn't planning
serious.
on being an otter, but these segues are natural. I didn't know that was an otter. I didn't know that was an otter thing. Like,
No,
so.
I think the lion is one of them. He has his little animal puppet show. But see, this is how Maria's brain works. I am like, okay, yeah, here, let's get down to business. Here's the things, bullet points, boom, 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 boom. But in between the bullet points, my brain's also like, da, 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 da. And I feel like if I don't let some of it out, I will explode. I mean, I don't want to explode. So really, it's it
doesn't go away.
It does sometimes. There's been I've been in like strict business meetings where that would not go over well. So
those are not
I'm gonna have a therapist call me after this. Probably they're gonna be something like, honey, because I'm gonna tell the story. But what happens during those times is I like listen. Well, actually, sometimes what happens, because what do I do if I'm in a serious conversation and somebody says something? What do? I end up having to text you, right? Like, and I'm like, yeah, I just keep it all together. I'm like, fine. I've had to do that business situation. So usually I have. Like, I always find a friend. I do. I always have a delegated friend there that I found. There's been a few times where it's like nobody is making the cut. So then I just pull somebody that's not even there at all and be like, listen, I know this has nothing to do with you. I just need to get this out off. And you've been that person before too. Like, hey, guess what was just said? I know you're not here, but guess what just was said? And it's really funny. And I'm trying not to laugh at it. So I do that just because that's my way of being able to get it out of my system, and I can, maintain composure at that point, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
That's good. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been in those types of meetings where I'm just like, not recently, I guess.
So you've never been in a boring meeting?
No, I've been in some tough meetings. You ever like, all right, so maybe we are talking about the same thing. Maybe I would just interpret it a little differently. Like, I've been in meetings where I feel bad for the person presenting because I'm like, I know it's in there. Like, Hey, Michelle, how's it going?
I didn't want to interrupt. I waved, but anyway.
Oh no, it's all good. I
ahead.
was trying to share the show, and I wasn't looking, and then I looked down. I was like, "Ugh."
Michelle's in the house. All right, go ahead.
So I've been to meetings where I feel bad for the presenter because you know how when like a meeting's going well, like it starts like that flow happens and people are engaging and
it's clicking and the energy in the room is just rising.
Yeah, but like you have it where it starts off like midway and then it just starts to take that dip. It's not a nosedive. It's just
like a slow fall, like
yeah, exactly.
Do
like
you
a
explode?
Slight decrescendo to an explosion. Yeah. Exactly. And I feel for them and I'm like, and you know what the funny thing is? In those moments, I almost wanted to just shove them out the way and be like, watch the Kung Fu master. You know what I mean? But like, there's no guarantee that I'm going to ace it. But I just feel like I can connect with people differently. But I just felt for them. I really felt for them because I'm just like, oh my God, if you just kind of like, you know what it is? I feel like people feel like they have to subtract pieces of themselves to present certain information. And I'm like, inappropriateness? Yeah, you keep that to the side. You know what I mean?
To this much.
Yeah, like,
because sometimes I'm like, you know what I'm saying about that. Yeah. You know. Oh, we're definitely on the same page here. We can do that.
Right. A little bit of that is okay in my mind, right?
Yeah.
I know there's places where people be like, oh, why I never? Like, whatever.
Pinky up.
Yeah, like, whatevs, okay? Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, for the moment, like, I feel like some people just subtract themselves. And I'm just like, this is not where you subtract. This is not that moment. Or maybe there's a fear of being inappropriate. I don't know what it is.
Probably. Well, and I think, because, I mean, you mentioned that. I mean, there was times, I think I've said this many times, where I showed up with my mask of perfection. And you've seen under the mask. There's not perfection. There's, I do grade out some things, and some things I fall on my face, and some things I shouldn't be doing at all. I've pretty much started to pull those things off, but it takes a while. And I think for a while, whether it's like in your 9-to-5 job or whether you're starting a business or whether it's even something that where you're getting up and just speaking or, whatever the case may be, I think at first you're uncomfortable with it. So you do end up, maybe you're not sure how you're supposed to, quote unquote, show up.
Right.
Because I think that was me. On all of my different, I know I end up calling it levels all the time, and I think you hate that, but I say it just out of simplicity.
No, it's fine.
Like
I
know you're like, no levels. You're not allowed to say levels.
Like, there are no levels. You're the same person. You're just learning, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying.
So fine, don't call it levels. Call it onion layers. Like, you're being reborn. Yeah. Is that allowed? I feel like you need to ask your life coach if it's okay if you say.
I think she would say
layers.
She's really cool. I think she would say
Because I agree with what she's saying. You are the same person.
Yeah.
But if you're playing Mario Brothers, and yes, I'm saying my age with that. I don't really care if you're playing Mario Brothers with your Nintendo.
We still play Mario Brothers.
Yeah, but is it the same?
Probably not.
Okay. Well, anyway, let me go back to my story. So if you're playing Mario Brothers and you go to the next level, you're still Mario.
That's true. You just gained new skills.
Yeah, you have new skills. On Mario 3, he could flap his tail and fly.
Yeah, flying
so
all over the place.
Yeah. So but it was still Mario. So I feel like I can still say levels. So I feel like I should be able to still say levels, but that's fine.
I say it. She was just trying to help.
She was probably trying to tell you that you were trying to pretend like you're a whole nother being.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. I was my last version, I upgraded my software. It's AOL 9.0. You got emojis. You got different signs for your email. It doesn't say you've got mail. You can make it change voices. Remember back in the day? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what my problem was.
I do think there is a level to what you're saying that's true, but I understand what she was doing. She was probably trying to get you to realize that Well, we're not getting into that. Okay.
Yeah.
So here, levels. We're just saying levels for the simplicity of levels.
Yes.
So anyway, I don't even know what we're talking about now. See, that's where
We were
Maria's
talking
ADHD.
about
I'm in
meetings.
Mario 3. I'm in Mario 3 now, and I'm like thinking about that was such a good game. I didn't have a Mario 3, but my neighbor did.
So you're at your neighbor's house all the time?
Yeah, I was a teenager, and I would go play Mario 3. They're like, so good. So that's where my brain just went, and then everything else that I had useful just fell out.
You were like, so I want to make this point that people need to be themselves. Oh my God, childhood memory.
Yeah, have you seen that? I think it's a Disney, or is it DreamWorks? I don't know. The one where it like shows all the emotions in the brain. What's it called?
Yes, it was. Oh my God, is that where like everybody was like different colors, like the kids?
Yeah,
and they were like,
and then they're like a new core memory.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of my core memories.
That was. I know what you're talking about. I just forget it.
Hercules, and that made me go back to that for some reason. And then I went back to the meeting with Tim where he said relations, and then I
Inside Out.
Thank you,
Michelle's
Michelle.
Got it.
And then I laughed at the word relations because it made me think of Grandma Clump and stuff about we have relations all the time.
Ew.
That's what she said. I didn't say it. That's where my brain went. And that's when he said we are not being otters today.
Yeah, right.
So
I feel like Michelle would be really good at charades.
Yeah. Michelle, are you good at straight? I don't know who else is in the room. So whoever else is in the room, I feel like I'm leaving you out. But yeah, Michelle would be good. If you want us to talk to you, you have to talk to us. But
it'd be funny if it's me because my screen.
Probably. Stacey!
I'll comment black. I love this show. Tell me more about the artist, please.
That Stacey Price is hysterical.
Oh my God, I'm her biggest fan. My goodness.
Oh, that's great. Great. All right. I really wish we had started recording before we even come on here because we were talking. I don't know. It was funny, like we were talking about because I'm glowing again, and I feel like it would be like not up to par if we didn't do it as organically as we did earlier when we were talking about how I was glowing.
Remember? The glow? You want the glow back?
No, I'm glowing. I'm already glowing. Look at my face.
Oh, I was about to say.
I have like half a nostril. I don't even have a nose right now. I'm like Voldemort.
Oh, I remember when he. Oh my God! How did you wait? First, I want to say,
Harry.
We confirmed that Michelle is amazing at charades. See, I knew it. And she's probably good at the license plate game, where you try and guess what the license plate means. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like where the words are. Like
I am sometimes good at that game, and sometimes I turn it into something I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to be. And I'm like, you know what that looks like? Oh, you know what that says? Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's not the game. That's not the game.
I know. I've been.
But you're not playing right.
Yeah.
But also, how did you feel when what scared you the most in Harry Potter? Did anything scare you? Because I had some moments.
I don't like scary movies, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't like scary movies, and I guess I don't really see that one as quote unquote super scary. I already know what one scared you probably because I know you, but I did not like the later ones where it got like even though I was interested in it, like with all the Horcruxes and that, just the dark emotion of it. I was like, hi.
Right. Celia's here. That's my niece.
She made it. She made it. Ooh.
And Michelle says, I'm the right kind of gamer. Yeah, so she plays it the right way. See?
That's good. Wow.
But yeah.
I don't read directions. I'm the person that buys the game, and I'm like, all right, I think I know how to play this. We don't need this. And then we just make up the rules.
Really? No, I read them to a T.
I don't like board games, so I try to make it more fun.
You can't do that. That's not one of the rules.
Okay, so you're a couple of my children. So there's a thing in my household. It makes me sound like a terrible mother. I will not play board games with my kids anymore.
Why? Not even Monopoly?
Oh my God, no. You know how many wars in my household has been over freaking Monopoly? And unfortunately, my husband was involved, like yelling back and forth between 10-year-olds over property. And I'm like, it's fake property. It's fake
Sell
money.
it to me.
Really, yeah.
Sell it.
It's like, he's like, no. And he was exactly what you just said. No, the rule stays right here. And he brings up the resignation. Yeah. And I'm like, nobody cares. I just want it to end. So it's like everybody's arguing, and it is like I don't know what goes on. Like, I see these pictures, like, oh, it's family game night.
What, the picture on the box? Not realistic.
No, and also, like, I see, like, friends of mine, and I don't know if they pay their family, or my family's just more screwed up than I thought we were, or I don't know what happened. But that is not the experience of game night in my house. That's not. It's not. It doesn't matter. Monopoly's the worst, but there's a lot of them that are really bad. And there's always an argument over some fake something that you really don't have. You have a freaking piece of paper with it written on there. Doesn't even matter. Just freaking play the dang games. We can all quit and pretend like we have a family fun night.
Look, there's probably somebody there saying, no, you can't buy and sell. Your turn. You ended your turn. You cannot. No. Yep. No, you're bankrupt.
I feel like you've been there in spirit or something. Yeah.
Monopoly is my favorite board game. Out of all of the games, Monopoly is my favorite. Michelle says Monopoly is a no bueno situation. I'm curious, Michelle and Celia, if you're still here, what are your favorite games to play, or favorite, whether it's a board game?
I actually like charades. I like games that don't include
like pieces.
Yes, I don't want to play the board. It's fake. We're doing nothing. We are going around the same board 1,000 times and
trying to understand.
Exactly. Thank you. See, fund my donkey. See, that's what she said. Fund my donkey. Yes, exactly.
I get it. I was like, I don't comprehend.
There you go. So yeah, it's the truth. It's terrible. It's so bad. But I do like charades. I don't like the Pictionary you buy, but I do like Pictionary if you just like do it. Like, I like games you do with nothing. You just do it yourself. That's the games I like. Checkers.
Got it.
You know, I used to like checkers as a kid. I don't know. I've never played at checkers as an adult.
Yo, Celia, you remember when we played checkers in the mall? So I remember
in the mall.
So weird situation. We went to the mall and they had like giant checkers, like not like the one on the floor, like the chessboard, but like it was like a big table. And it was so funny because I didn't know, she liked those games and stuff like that. Because I love games like that, like family game night, things like that. So she was playing me and I didn't know the rules for checkers. I could play chess. So she kind of taught me that moment. And it was, we got very competitive, you know, but it wasn't like competitive, like I will fight you. It was just like, you think you are the better price. Not today. And she kicked my butt. She definitely kicked my butt. Yeah.
Now, wish that's how my family fought. No, my family fights like.
Oh, man.
No, it's like people end up bleeding. Somebody is guaranteed that some things happen. Somebody's going to be screaming at someone. Someone's going to be bleeding. I wish I was making that up, but I'm not. It's always like a nosebleed or something because somebody like, oh, you cheated! Or like,
oh, wow.
And I'm just like sitting there like it's awful. Okay, favorite games are Pictionary, card games like Rummy, Ticket to Ride. I don't even know what that is. And games we make up. Yes.
I have to like Google these. I know Pictionary, but I don't know the other one.
You know what Rummy is? I used to play cards a lot. I don't even remember how to play Rummy. I don't remember. I used to play euchre a lot too.
What, the ukulele?
Euchre. My boys learned the ukulele.
Wait a minute. So you mean this whole word is rummy?
What? This whole word is rummy.
It says RUMMIKUB.
I don't know. I always called it rummy, and we always spelled it like that. But maybe we didn't.
Help me out! I don't get it.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Point is family game nights, I think, are one of those things, at least in my experience, that are great in your mind.
It's like,
oh, this is going to be so good. You get amnesia about it. It's honestly, for me, this just like
Mhm.
full brain circle.
Mhm.
It's almost like being pregnant. I remember like I would be like
Wait,
late
family
pregnant. I'm
game
like,
night is like being
hold on,
pregnant?
let me finish. Hold on.
Yeah, bring it.
I would
I'm trying to
get.
understand here.
I'm gonna paint this picture. So I'd be like, oh baby, I'm gonna have him to be so cute. And I'd have like I wouldn't be like giant or swollen. I'd just be like this little like bump, right? And then by the end of the pregnancy, like, what the frick was I thinking? Oh my God! I go into labor and I'm like, I did this on purpose. Why would I do this? So it's like that with family game night for me. So it's like it's gonna be so fun, and I pop some popcorn. We're gonna be fun, mom.
Right.
We're gonna be fun, mom. It's gonna be so fun. Let's play the game.
I get it.
We sit down, and then people are screaming and bleeding, and game pieces are thrown places. People are throwing fits, and I'm right back there to the end of it, to where I'm like, I did this on purpose. Why would I do this again? Or going to pick apples. Like I have some cute little pictures that I put up because that was the good moments. But what I didn't include, and I should have in retrospect, is them beating the ever-living crap out of each other all the way there, with me and my husband sitting there front like, we're doing this on purpose. Why are we doing this? And we get there, we pay like $200 for 2 bushels of apples for them to pick and fight over the fact, why are we doing this? We can buy apples at the store. And I'm like, I don't know. That's a really good question, Cole. I don't know why we're doing this. So, and then they beat the crap out of each other all the way home. We had a couple of good pictures, a couple of good moments. And that's, I like to tell these stories because we all see these like beautiful, like, oh my gosh, I got a little family, that's so cute. And I want to know, like, is it, I know it's just not me, because I've had other people go, no, me too, it's ours too.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know, like, is there a percentage of people, like, are there some families that it really does go that calm? And
you
if
mean
so, like,
game night or pregnancy?
All of it. Pregnancy, game. I need some lists.
My mom will say, so my mom is the first person I've ever met.
Well, yeah, she would be.
Yeah, she's the first person I met.
That's you.
And then second, she's the first person I ever met who, after having multiple children, said, I wanted to have more. I was like, really? And she used terminology like, I had a great birth. I'm like, what? Like, some people be like, oh my God, don't do it. Like, kids are great, but no, don't do it. Oh my God. Like I understand, like, it's not all like 100% bad. Like, it's like, oh, they're so sweet and everything. But then it's just like, sometimes like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, I get it. Like, she's the first person where, well, then again, there are those moments where she did say some things that we ain't gonna say here. But for the most part, she said she wanted more kids. Like, she wanted like a good like 6, 7. My dad was like, are you crazy? Yeah.
Yeah.
She was begging me for grandkids.
Kids. Crazy people do that. Who would put themselves through that? Like,
oh my God. Oh, Maria.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's definitely good parts. There's blessing, but there's moments.
Yeah.
I think those are the moments that keep you going, because there are moments you're like, oh, look at them. They're playing so cute. I'll snap the picture of the boys like reading each other a book, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't last though. It's like, I get it. And that's the reason I want to take the pictures, because when they're killing each other and I'm like this far from just like dropping them off at somebody's house and like driving 100 miles an hour away, I look back at the picture, I was like, oh, I remember that moment. That was a good, that'll happen again at some point. Probably not today, maybe not tomorrow. Sometime we'll get back to this. This is just going to keep me going, right? It's just like, keep me going to the next time, because there's rough parts. But I think it's like that in anything. It's not just kids. It's not just family. It's not, but it's life. Relationships. It's life. Business. It's life. It's all of it. I can't even tell you, even with my, I love my business, but I don't know how many times I've been like, I'm not feeling this anymore. I'm not feeling this today. Should I even be doing this anymore? Yeah. And, and I used to like completely just want to quit when I felt like it. But now I know, it's like, okay, is this just a moment where I'm just like, not feeling it for this moment? I need to kind of like dial back for a little bit, and then it becomes okay again. And I think that's for me, that's how I've determined with my own life, that I have to do things, is that when I start to feel that way, it's usually because I'm stressed out, overwhelmed. I'm usually burning the candle at both ends, I'm not at that balance point.
Yeah.
So if I get myself to that balance point, kind of take the break, take some of the pressure off, and I still feel like it's not for me, then I have to ask myself a lot of questions. But it's almost, again, like the kids, when they're being all sweet and they're like all snuggling, I'm like, oh, all of my babies, I'm so glad I had babies. And when they're killing each other, I'm like, why did I even become a mom? Exactly. Like, what the heck was I thinking? What was I thinking? Funny. So when I say it's like that in business, and like you said, in life, it's like that in life. And it is like a roller coaster. Did you ever see that movie? Apparently nobody's ever seen this movie. I have never said this quote and said, somebody said, yes, I know what you're talking about. And so I'm really terrified because you've seen no movies pretty much. But have you ever seen the movie Parenthood? It was an older movie.
With what's her name?
In it? I don't know what her name is.
The girl that was in God, hold on, let me Google it. I got Google. I was looking at Ticket to Ride that
No, it's not the newer one. There's a newer one with the chick from the
redhead.
I think redhead. I don't
No,
know.
never mind. All right. No, I did not see. Wait, this is a show?
No. There was a show. There was an 80s movie called Parenthood. I think that was it. Hold on. Let's see. It was an 80s movie. Here it is. I found it. Woohoo! It had Steve Martin in it. It was, can you dang it? Right there.
Yeah, but.
But what? Yeah, there's a show. Well, hold on. I haven't explained why this is important. I was studying the stage. And now we're off on a tangent because that's what we do. But anyway, we had Steve Martin in it. It was really good. It was called Parenthood with Steve Martin. And there was the grandma. Okay. This was the purpose of me, laying the foundation.
Oh, Michelle knows it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Michelle.
Michelle is the only one in a 30-mile radius.
Probably. It's fine. That's all that matters.
So it's you and her.
There it is. It's just us two. So we're here we are, right? So there's this scene though that the grandma, she's like this old little lady. There's this grandma and she's like talking about the house is just going crazy. Like there's so much stuff, like she said, teen pregnancy. The teenager's pregnant. The mom and dad's fighting. There's another couple getting divorced. It's just like, it's life, right? It's chaos, life. And there's this moment where everybody's like freaking out and stressing out. And this grandma's just sitting there. She's old grandma, just sitting there. And she goes, when we used to go to I might misquote this. If you're like a fan, don't hate me. I'm paraphrasing here because it's been a while. But when we used to go to the fair, everybody always liked the merry-go-round. She was like, but I didn't like it. It just went round and round and round. There was no excitement. I liked the roller coaster because it was ups and downs and you were scared. And, it was talking about and she said that she was pretty much saying that's how life was.
Right.
She was using it as an example. And I remember that. I was young when I seen that. And I still remember that. And I think that's true.
You feel the same way?
Yeah. I mean, when I'm in that moment where my kids are killing each other, am I like, woo, roller coasters? No. But when I sit and I take a step back and I'm like in here right now, having a chat, drinking a coffee, and I'm able to kind of breathe for a second, how boring would it be if life was just like that? We're
that's
just
true.
In a smooth circle.
My life was like that at one point. And it's so funny that you say that because even this morning, I got up and I was like, why am I doing this? Why I have these very minimal moments, Maria. I mean, it's but a blip.
I get it.
And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to get up. And then I think about the alternative and I'm like, nope. Okay, I'm back. No, because I remember when I used to just do 9 to 5, come home, have a drink, just all right, video games, just real nice and safe, no risk, just we're good. You know what I mean? And I remember how I felt and how I was just like, well, there goes another brain cell. All right. Yeah. That's how I felt. I felt like I was dying inside. And now I'm like, there's this thrill now of creating things, and this thrill of okay, there's another show. Okay, I got another show. I got this. Okay, this is moving. It's like I have to. It's like I'm in now. I'm in now. And if I do the opposite of that, even for me to the point where I feel like if I start subtracting certain things, I mean, I'll subtract it if I need to, but I feel like sometimes I'm just like, no, give it back. It's mine.
You can't have it.
You can't have it. I worked hard on this. Yes. No.
No,
You know
I
what I
get
mean?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's something that all of us probably, no matter where we're at kind of our life, can probably attest to, is that, you know, if there's no what's next, if there's no expectations, if there's no excitement, if there's no, we do, like at first it probably feels good. It's like you said, like safe. It's a safety net. It's like, ooh, I don't have to worry about that. Don't have to worry about that. I can just like show up, do whatever. But for a lot of people, I'm not going to say all, because there probably are those people out there that they're like, nope, I like it. I'm good with that. That's fine. And that's good if that's how you are. But for a lot of people that I know, they feel like, what's the point, right? It's like, it's good for a while. And like you said, it ends up being the slow nose, like what we were talking about early on. It's like, you know, it's not like fall off a cliff. It's like, good, you know. So, and I mean, that's how it is. And it's, I think for most people, they want that. We talk about purpose a lot, right? Or why, or purpose. We are, as humans, we are always chasing after purpose. We're always chasing after belonging. Those are like two, no matter what no matter what your background, your upbringing, your work life, your home life, it doesn't matter what it is. If you are a human, those are two aspects that whether you realize it or not, you're always chasing. You're always chasing purpose, and you're always chasing to belong. Even if you're one of those people like, I don't care what people think about me. That's fine. You still, on some level, are wanting to belong. Maybe it's not like to everybody, which is great, but you want to feel like you're connected to someone.
Yeah.
Even the people that say they're loners. Yeah, even people are like, I'm a loner. Well, they're not complete loners.
No, you're online talking to somebody. Yeah. Or watching someone or feeling that connection because somebody is like you. You may not interact with them like, oh, I said hi and they said hi back. But the fact that you're following somebody's life or tracking experiences or whatever it is, like even think about it this way, like, look at the girl that I sent you the article of, that apartment in the Bronx. Like, you're like,
bless it.
But if you think about it, she works in TV. Like, she follows television. She enjoys that, and she takes, like, she's connected to the different moments in these movies.
Yep.
So you're it may not. That's the thing. Sometimes connection for humans, it would be nice if with another human, but it's not always that way. It could be with an experience, a time, a show. Like, think about how many like we were just talking about what? Friends, Cheers, Murphy Brown, all those shows, Frasier. We're connected to that in some way, shape, or form.
Well, and also just the fact that somebody's like, I'm a loner, I don't need nobody. That is like a form of connection. You're finding your people. You've announced it.
Yeah.
You're
connected.
I don't need no one.
The fact that you're calling yourself a loner, you're connected to being a loner.
You are in a club now, friend. You're in the club of the loners and welcome to the wild side and like adventure. That's connecting. That's belonging. It's pretty much like your branding. So, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like, you know, we are always chasing these things. And I think that's why you hear the term like midlife crisis all the time. I think people hit that, because it's like, again, our inside us, we're always being pulled towards purpose and belonging. And sometimes we start out like, we're like running, like, yeah, it's not like a marathon. You're like running, you're like, ooh, this is fun. Ooh, yeah, it's fun. And then, like, you know, by like mile 14, you're like, your legs feel like rocks.
Chug along.
What? Did I do this? I don't even like running. This was my experience when I did my one marathon that I'll never do again. So I'm just like sharing my own.
When did you do a marathon?
It was years ago. It was when I was still training, and I was actually cocky AF about it. Really bad. I didn't even train to do the marathon because I'm like, work out like 8-10 hours a day.
In shape.
Like, I was working out like 8-10 hours a day with my clients. However, and I should have known this though, that it's like, doesn't matter. Like you that's how cocky I was. If somebody else would have come in like, well, I work out 8-10 hours a day, I don't need to train. I'd be like, listen, your body gets used to what you do every day. But if you're not running, you're not gonna be. I would have told somebody else, but I was cocky enough that I was like, I'll be alright, I'll be fine. I'm in shape back in. I used to run back in high school.
Yeah.
I literally said that. I said that, it's like right by. I used to run in high school all the time. Yeah. And at the time I had 4 kids. I didn't like factor all that in. I only had the 4 at the time. But I remember I'd like run in and I was like, yeah, this is good. I run with clients. You know,
Mm-hmm.
hit about, it was actually, I said 14, but I'm kind of lying because it was really like about like 12-ish. My legs feel like, you know how like your leg falls
Lead.
asleep? Well, yeah, your leg falls asleep. It's like you can kind of feel it, but you can't. And you're like, am I actually still moving? I'm still moving. I'm not sure how that's happening because I feel nothing.
Yeah,
Because I went from nothing, well, I went from pain
that's a
to
scary.
nothing.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. And I lost toenails, and it's a whole story. But that's not the point of this. The point is that you start out like this, da, 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 you know, you're like, yeah, ha, ha. And then as you get older, you know, you've gone through all the exciting parts, right? There's no more what ifs. Then it's just the same thing every day. You wake up, you clock in, you do the job, you go home, you argue with your wife, your husband, you know, feed children, you argue about money, pay bills, you put the children to
Mm-hmm.
bed, you pass out, you get up, you do it all again. And I think that's why people get into this midlife crisis mode, is because they think about the fact that this is all, right? This is
Yeah.
every day. And I
Yeah.
think that it's not that those things are bad. You know,
Right.
you obviously, hopefully, love your spouse, love your kids, love your job, love your, if you maybe live with a friend, love your friend, like whatever your life is. You
Right.
love it. But it's, I think where we get unhappy and have a quote unquote midlife crisis is because that what if, that excitement, that, you know,
The thrill.
idea, yeah, is gone.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we need to be very conscientious on, you know, crafting our life. And that doesn't mean, I know we talk a lot about business ownership, and you were talking about
Yeah.
even like starting your own business. Maybe that's not for you. Maybe you figure it out some other way. But I
Yeah.
think we all need this level of excitement. I think that's what I was talking about, even with that movie Parenthood with Steve Martin. And I really strongly suggest you watch it. It's a really good movie. But when she said that,
I'll have
that's
to
how
check
we
it out.
stuck with me. And when I'm in that moment that I'm like about to pull my hair out, I'm like, well, you know, I wouldn't want the merry-go-round. I know myself well enough that even in that moment where I'm like, merry-go-round, I want a merry-go-round, I want a merry-go-round. Even in that moment, I would go around it like 3 times and be like, well, this is stupid, you know, and I
You
know
fall
that. So
asleep,
I
Maria.
would. It would
You
be
would
terrible.
literally fall
It is
asleep.
terrible. So it's like you have to get through those awful moments, you know, and stressful moments, because you know it's just part of it, because there's going to be an uptick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I love that movie. It's such a good movie.
I'm about to check it out. And I gotta check out these games that Michelle was recommending, because I don't know, what is it? The ticket to, what is it? The train
Ticket
game.
to Ride.
Ticket to Ride.
Oh, I
Ticket
think
to
my
Ride
kids
sounds
did.
like a song.
Could
Yeah.
be. Make up a song.
It sounds like I got a ticket to ride. I'm going places inside. I don't know.
Yeah,
That
we
sounds
yeah.
little,
Yeah. Wait, what?
Never
Rewind.
mind. Never mind. I was like,
Woo! This is rated M for mature. Actually, it's rated E. That confused me for a long time. I'm not. Actually, this just made me think
it's
about it.
rated M for me.
Yeah, well, M for mature on like games and movies, but
Right.
E is for everyone in games, right? But what's E in music? Do you know?
Explicit.
Yes. So I'm like, for the longest time, I was a dumb mom. I was buying them like the CD. It's like E for everyone. C for
What'd you
everyone.
say? You wanna listen to
Yeah, it was E for
Ice
everyone.
Cube? It's
So
got E for everyone, baby. Here
it
you
was
go.
E for everyone. I'm letting my 5-year-old like bump out the crowd, like,
Yeah.
and so then they're like singing. I'm like, wait, where'd you hear that from? Wait, because I'm thinking I'm getting the E for everyone version, the
What'd
cleaned
you
up
say?
version.
You want to listen to Ludacris? There you
So
go.
I feel like those industries want to like need to like get together and, you know, pick one. I don't even
Just
care which
across
one.
the board.
Just let me know. You know, is if E is for everyone over here and M is what's bad, then, and I'm not saying bad, but bad for 5-year-olds, you know, then why would music be E is the bad for 5-year-olds?
I think because the logo is different. Like, it's the same color scheme, black and white, but on video games, it's just the letter. On music, it's still black and white, but
there's some of them that just say
really? Oh, I don't know.
That's what screwed me up, because I'll show you. Actually, it's on iTunes that way too, where it was. I'm going to say that.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, it does say E.
It's just like, yeah, like for everyone. It's for everyone. I'm like building these playlists, and so they're like pretty much
like in the family barbecue. It's like mother.
Yeah. So I was like, I built it. Well, I didn't even know. This is really bad. I didn't even know for a long time, because we had iPads and headphones that they would listen to. So like they have these playlists I made, and they were like, I would purposely look for the E because I was stupid and I didn't realize until they're like singing these songs. I'm like, wait, what are you listening
You're
to?
like, what did you just say?
What are you listening to? And I'm listening to like, well, let me see that. Like, wait, this is E for everyone. Though. Why is that word in there? And I'm thinking,
Yeah,
it's like, I'm erasing that one. They missed that. Right? And I start listening. I'm like, whoa.
And then you're like, I found hundreds of these.
No.
Maybe this could be a business.
Yeah.
I could just look through all the songs that
Yeah,
say
all
E,
the songs that say
and we
E
can fix this.
We can
and they're
fix
like,
it.
ma'am,
Yeah.
it stands for explicit
Yeah,
lyrics.
It was really bad.
It ain't for everybody. It's for somebody, but not for everybody.
Not for everybody. It's for some people. That's for some people's.
That's so funny.
Not for all the people's.
That is funny. Oh my goodness. I can't. That's actually really funny. But I still appreciate it, and I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. I was just thinking about how dumb that was. It's like, and you ever think things and it seems so like common sense. You look back.
I gotta text you something later that I used to think as a kid. I used to be like, wow, like I don't know how I got this far because I used to not be that bright. Can't say it here, but I'll tell you later.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what this could be.
It's actually pretty messed up, but I'll share it with you privately. Oh my goodness.
Well.
But yeah, such is life. You live and you learn, and that's the process. And one of the most important things, like that you actually reminded me of after you started talking about how you were losing toenails in your little race there. It reminded me of David Goggins, and the things that he's been through. He is a former U.S. Navy SEAL. He wrote the book, I think, what's the book called? Can't Break Me. Hold on.
I think I've heard of a book like that, but I've not read it.
What's his name? I said David Goggins. Can't Hurt Me. That's what it is. Master Your Mind and Defy the Odds. His book is amazing. I think I mentioned it before on the show. But I like the book because it talks a lot about mental toughness and like getting to know yourself. And I think that's the thing. Like he has a quote. He says literally like the one thing we don't practice enough is like your mind. Like you don't understand your mind. We don't practice like the strength of the mind. We don't look into that enough. You know what I mean? We just kind of coast and we react. We coast and react. We repeat same behaviors. And that's actually partially what triggered me to write that quote the other day. Like, if you don't grow, like you're literally at a standstill. Like there's like, I was even thinking about the concept of time in that, because is time passing? Like, is it? Because you're stuck. You're literally you're stuck in whatever your imagination or reality is at that time. And that's what I feel like sometimes if I don't do all the things that I do. Like, it's like, what's the point of getting up? Like if I'm not going to help somebody today or share a message or share something that I learned, like, it's just, I don't know if you feel like that.
I think it's your
point.
No, I like your point. And I actually think it goes with what we've been talking about. I mean, that's what your calling, your purpose is, at least right now.
Yeah. Like right now. Yeah.
And I think that's another thing people get stuck in is they think, well, this is my calling, this is my purpose. And they think that's
forever.
Yeah, forever.
And once I let it go, I must die.
Yeah. Yeah. and I think, yeah, exactly. And I think what ends up happening is that it ends up becoming just another thing. We're just surviving, and I think, I thought the same thing for me. It's like, I can't stop this because this is my calling, this is my purpose. Who I'm meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
And what I figured out is that my true calling, my true purpose is very simple. It's like so simple. And how I express that has changed. Maybe only subtly, but changes. And that, if my core value hasn't really, well, I guess it has from when I was younger, but I don't even count. I was stupid then. But as I've been older and I figured out like kind of who I am, that hasn't changed a whole lot. I know what I like to be. I like to be a helper. Now there are negatives to that because you can take advantage of and all those things. I mean, you figure out like it's going back to like levels or going back, hey, that's fine, or layers or whatever, you just come out and be like, oh, okay, well, I figured that part out, and I can. There's a statement. It's really gross, so I don't like saying it, but I don't know a better one. So there's a statement that's called it says, "Eat the meat and spit out the bones." So it's like,
Oh yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, it's and I've heard that being said. I'm like, ooh, then I'm like, oh, okay, because it makes sense. It's like, you need the protein, you need nourishment. Somebody hands you a chicken leg, you need to spit out the bones, and it's like that with life. Like whatever, kind of comes your way, whatever you learn, you eat the meat and you spit out the bones of it. It's like, okay, well, I experienced this, I did this, I've, gone after my purpose for now and figured out this is my vision, and I figured out, okay, well, this is a negative part of that. I'm not going to make that same mistake again. Like you were mentioning, just about not going through and making those same, not reacting. Do you find yourself, I may put you on the spot, so you're probably like, eh.
No, it's all good. This ain't about business.
No. So, like, do you ever find yourself to where you're like you find yourself back to reaction mode again? Because I have been. I'm just now trying to come out like, I'm being reborn. Out of my cocoon. Back in reaction mode again. And I when I end up there, I'm like, it's almost like one of those things. It's like almost like the walk of shame. Like, how did I get here again? Like what?
Like what?
What did I drink? What happened?
Somebody
yeah, it's like it happens. It's just because, especially, and I make this mistake. I've shared with everybody 1,000 times that one of my it's almost like it probably is a diagnosable addiction. I love a planned, beautiful, sadly full. I wish I didn't love a full calendar. I love it. I love it. It's like, look at all these things I'm going to do.
Look at all the colors.
Excitement. I like it. Yeah, I like it until I don't, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, again tomorrow.
Like spinning plates and like, well, I'm like, and then I don't even, the bad part is when I make my calendar, I get amnesia about the fact that I have children, I have a husband, I have all these other things that I have to do. And I'm just looking at my calendar. And if that's all that I had to do, gold. I'd be golden. But I'm not factoring in, that I'm having to meal prep, that I have 1,000 loads of laundry a day to do because my kids, I don't know what they do. And then I have, to do housework. And then I have somebody gets sick or somebody gets hurt and has to go to ortho. Or I don't, and I know better. Yeah. That like an addict, I will be like, I'm never doing this again. Never doing this again. It's not happening. I'm never doing this again. I'm going to straight and narrow. You mean straight and narrow from now on.
Yeah,
I'm like, no. And I write Post-it notes and I stick it to say no. Say no. And I'm so proud of myself. I'm sticking it up on the wall like Stacey, like say no. You gotta say no. And I'm so good at it for a while. And then
the Post-it note falls off. Or you just forget that the Post-it note is there.
It's like you're walking, you're like carrying all this stuff, and you start to trip, and you're like catch yourself, and you're like tripping, and you're like falling down like the embankment, and you're like covered in mud, and you're trying to do like the snowball. I don't even know. It's like it ends up being to the point where, and then I get to the bottom, and I stand up, and I'm like, my leg's broken, I'm covered in mud, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How did I end up here again?
110%. I mean, like I think you've seen little bits and pieces of my life since we met almost like a year ago. Yeah.
It feels like it's been longer than that in some ways.
It does.
But in some ways, it's like, that was yesterday. In some ways, I'm like, girl, I've known you since childhood.
Yeah. Like, you remember when we went to school together? Like, so you've seen me like try and like make a schedule for myself. And I look at it and I'm like, all right, here we go. This is it. Like, and then literally I'm like in bed and I'm like, I was supposed to get up and I don't have to, right? But I'm allowed to like miss a day. The next thing you know, I miss a month. And then it just kind of keeps going. And I'm like, all right, Stacey, this is about discipline. I'm like, all right, I got it. Like,
I'll start Monday. I'm gonna start Monday. I'm gonna start Monday.
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, like it's just. But I do have to say, like, even though I just realized, like, the schedule for me, it works sometimes. It doesn't work sometimes. And that's where I'm at right now. And I know things are going to change because as I do more, I'm going to have to show up more. And that's what's been happening where, like, I'll still get the things I need to do done or I'll start the process, and there's one thing that I'm literally avoiding, and it's so funny. Like I was thinking to myself yesterday, like how much I'm avoiding, making this course and stuff. Like I'm literally avoiding it. Like I literally had time to do it yesterday, and I'm like, you know what, Natasha, we've been talking about this podcast. It's a great time to do that now. And as I'm doing the podcast, I'm like, oh my God, here I go again. Now, it's not that this doesn't need to get done. We do need to record, but it didn't need to happen right now.
So you were using it to hide.
I'm hiding. I'm hiding from the course because I know what it means. I know what it means for me. And the sad thing is, I know the benefits, and that's amazing. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like maybe it's my perception, because I feel like it's going to be like when I found out about podcasting. When I learned about podcasting, I literally did nothing else. Like nothing else existed. Food didn't, water, like nothing.
Dried up like a prune.
Yeah, I'm just dried up. Like, more information. How to broadcast? Do it now. Like I was like an android for several days.
So that's
like,
kind of addictive, right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. Me and you.
Yeah, so I have a problem, and I think I'm partially afraid of that, and obviously, like, I'm not on autopilot. Like, I know I could budget time, but that's the problem. When I start like something new and I get so excited about it, I'm like, well, tell me what else there is. And then it's just this information overload or creation overload. And the reality is I want to complete it in 2 weeks versus several months. And that is the issue.
So I'm just thinking, what would happen if, and I just feel like nothing would happen, it'd be the same. But what would happen if you almost negotiated with yourself, but instead of negotiating with yourself the way you're doing it now, you said it the opposite way, like, okay, well, I really want to do this, but to do that, I need to do this. When I check that off, then I'm free to go do whatever I want to do. Like a reward system. Yeah, like a reward system. Would that work for you?
Possibly. Yeah. Because I've done it before. I'm like,
what if you tell me about it? Because a lot of times,
that's true. You want to be my accountability buddy?
Yeah, and a lot of times it comes down to accountability. Because once you tell somebody, you're, dang it, I have to now.
Actually, that would work, because I would feel the pressure. I'm like, oh my God, somebody sees me.
Yeah.
Somebody sees.
Which is exactly why I ran that marathon, because I already told them I'd run it. I was a trainer. I worked in the fitness industry. I'm like, nobody's ever going to hire me again. I can't quit running. I can't stop in the middle of a marathon. This is
this is like your thing. Like, what?
So instead of stopping, which I should have, just for my own well-being, I kept going anyway because of accountability.
You're like, so what? A couple of nails? At least I have proof. I was there.
Grow back. They will grow back. And now I have this fabulous story to tell on my one time only that I will ever run a marathon.
Did they grow back the same, or?
Yeah, they actually did. I'm surprised by that, because it was not cute. It was not a cute look.
That hurt?
Actually, no. Like, my whole body hurt for like 3 days, but my toenails didn't even hurt. They just like came off, and I was like, oh, pretty. Okay.
Great. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was really nice. No, all of them didn't fall off. It was only 3, but it was like 2, 3.
3
like
was it the big toenail?
No, it was actually like some of them, the couple in the middle. I can't remember. It's been so many years. This one, I can't remember if it was 2 on this foot, and probably 2 on this.
So you run pretty evenly.
I don't know. Probably not, actually. That's probably had 2 on this foot. I tend to rotate towards the right.
Oh my God. Yeah, I run like, I don't know. Apparently, I only have like, it's like when I drive. It's so.
I don't know. I was running. God. I was running and trying to see. I want
like
to run.
A dance. Like you were like, and we're off.
So I was running. I was pretending to run, and then I was like, "Oh!" I got my coat glitz. I was like, "Looks like I'm dancing." And then I'm like, "Oh, I'm dancing."
I can't with you, Maria. We got to get out of here.
Yes, it's time to end. I know
I
everyone
hope
is so
somebody
sad.
learned something today.
Somebody, I didn't.
If somebody learned something, they'd be like, look, those gals, they just, I don't learn much, but they all funny. They sure all funny. They got a great
I
sense
feel
of
like
humor.
we have a sense of humor. I feel like some days we're more otter than lion or whatever the other animals are.
Yeah.
We need to bring Tim on here so he can explain the animals. He can bring his animal friends and
puppets.
talk to. Yeah, and
I
then
hope they
it'll
have
make
voices.
sense. Well, they should. You can give them voice. This is a plan. We'll bring Tim on.
Oh my
He will
God.
introduce his animal friends, which will probably be mad at calling him that, but I don't care. Well, he'll introduce his animal friends. And then people will understand what we're talking about. We're like otters and lions and lions. They have no idea. They're so confused, I'm sure. But
Right.
then they'll understand. And they'll be like, otters. I see it now. Oh,
Can you
full
imagine
circle. I got it.
changing people's language? They'd be like, can you imagine you have people calling like, you know what? I was dating this girl. She was kind of an otter, but I'm kind of a lion and it wasn't working out. Like, what should I do? Like,
I think, see, you know what? It all ties together. It's the circle of life. I'm trying to resist singing the circle of life from Lion King.
I heard it in my head. And
I was too.
I was like, Stacey, don't do it. Don't do it. You
Yeah,
don't know what those
me
words
too.
mean.
No, I was like, no, because that's the point. I started out very confident. I started out so confident singing that song, right? And then it gets to the one point, like, oh, I don't. And then I offend an entire nation.
And they're like, cancel Spontaneity.
Yeah. And it's not because I'm being offensive on purpose. It's because I don't know the words. And then I don't remember that I don't know the words until I get to that point in the song. And I started out all confident. And then it's,
I can't.
Here we are.
Maria, say our final remarks.
We will be back again for your viewing pleasure next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, these
for another
otters will be back.
Of Spontaneity. Yeah.
Ta-ta.
That's all I got. Ta-ta.